Hi everyone. Welcome to Tips with Tony's Topic Tuesdays. I know you love the alliteration. So once again, I do apologize because I'm going to go back and forth between looking at the Facebook camera and looking at the Instagram camera. Hi, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. Yes, so I do apologize for that. I don't know which camera to look into, so I'm just going to keep kind of going back and forth. Actually, I did just, you know what, I'm deciding. Okay, Instagram, I apologize because I usually give my attention to you. However, on Facebook, I can save the videos and put them on YouTube. So I think it's better that I look at the Facebook camera. So once again, on Instagram, I do apologize. Facebook, I'm finally looking at you for the first time, so it's not going to look like I'm looking down or up or whatever. So anyways, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Tony Marinucci. I'm a registered dietitian, and some exciting news, I am a proud new business owner. My business is called Diet Tips with Tony Marinucci, MSRD LLC. So I finally made it official, and I do online counseling. So it's currently strictly online, where I can help you kind of figure out what you want to change with your diet, what you need to change with your diet, and the best strategies to go about that. But more on that later. So every Tuesday, I'm coming to you live with topics that I kind of create in my head, or topics that someone has come to me and asked me to chat about and talk about. So I have some really good stuff coming up. One next week, I'm really trying my best. I'm currently in the process of interviewing some people, really trying hard to get it up and ready for Tuesday. So the live video, obviously that part is pretty simple. I'm talking and you're listening and all that, but I like to also have something written for people to read and go back to, which writing things down for me is not my strong suit. So that takes a little bit more time, and I have to create the time slot for me to actually schedule where I'm going to write the post. Going live, I can talk about things forever, but some really good topics coming up. But if you have any suggestions or questions that you want me to address for future Tips with Tony Topic Tuesdays, let me know. All right, so without further ado, let's get started because I don't want to be on here for too long. I want you guys to be able to go back and take care of whatever you need to do to help you get closer to your goals. All right, so tonight we're talking about the scale and how the scale does not always reflect our efforts, and it can be a little bit disheartening and frustrating at times. You might be working really, really hard all week, whether it's to lose weight or gain weight. You have to remember, I know a majority of people in the United States are overweight or obese, but there are plenty of people out there that are actually trying to gain weight and having difficulty doing so. So you have to be, and that's a whole other separate topic that I'm not going to go off about, but you have to be sensitive that everyone here that's listening is in their own journey. Some people are trying to lose weight, some people are trying to gain weight, and either way, whatever your goal is, and you go to get on that scale and it's not moving and you're putting efforts forward, that's frustrating. Okay, so we're going to talk about, we're not really going to go into the reasons why, because there's hundreds of reasons why, most of which can be explained, but not all. And instead of getting wrapped up in why am I not losing weight, is it because I had too much salt? Is it because I'm having issues with digestion? All that stuff. We're not going to go into that. Instead, I'm going to teach you how to celebrate the wins of the other things that you're doing to get you closer to your goals, because those are the things that we need to focus on more. So the scale is one aspect that can be a tracker with whether or not you're on track with your goals, and it's a form of measurement that we can utilize. And trust me, it feels really good when you are working hard and the scale shows it. But it is not the only form and measuring tool to dictate if your efforts are successful or not. Okay, so we're going to go over those 8 different tips that I've come up that I found are the kind of the strongest, the ones that I usually often go back to when talking with my clients to remind them and motivate them that what they're doing is working, and to just remember that and kind of change the mindset a bit so that they can stay motivated to their goals. Okay, so the number one thing that I really encourage my clients to celebrate is celebrating the fact that they said no thank you to temptation. We are very often and frequently tempted by different in different situations. It might be at work where people are coming into the office bringing sweets and pastries, or someone offers you, you're out to dinner with someone and they offer you their French fries. You're trying to be good, and you politely say no thank you, and you get through that moment successfully. That is absolutely something to celebrate. Whether you're seeing results on the scale or not, the old you would have easily, not just if you were at work, take one cookie, would have taken 10 cookies, because when you have one, it leads to another. So you said no thank you to resist temptation, and that is something to be proud of, something you need to celebrate. And if you do that more consistently over a period of time, you'll see different types of results, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Okay, so taking that step a little bit forward, maybe you do give into temptation. However, the old you would have had 10 cookies, right? However, this time, when you're asked, would you like a cookie? You say, yeah, sure, thank you. And you have one, and then you're done with it, and you wipe your hands of it. That's something else to celebrate. A third thing to celebrate, I can use this scenario again and again and again, because I like to focus on positive changes that people are making, because I feel like when you provide positive feedback, it makes that person want to continue to create positive results. So if I can find the positive in things, I'm gonna find them. So now another win that we can focus on. You indulge, and now you end up indulging in the sweets. So you didn't say no thank you. You thought you were just gonna have one. You ended up having 10, and now you go home, and in that moment, you've decided that you're not going to allow it to affect the rest of your evening. You had a healthy dinner planned. You're still going to have that healthy dinner, whether or not you are ready to put your hands up in the air or not. You are having that healthy dinner because in your mind you made a decision. You said, okay, I screwed up. I'm wiping my hands of it. I'm going to continue on my healthy plan because I know that by doing that, I will get to my results. Okay, so that immediate decision and to take action in the moment is exactly what's going to get you closer to your goal. And that's something to celebrate. That's something that you really want to be proud of yourself for doing. Okay, another thing to celebrate using the same exact scenario. You decide, okay, you overeat on the cookies, you go home, you have that healthy dinner. But the old you in your head would be thinking about those cookies, beating yourself up, making yourself feel so guilty that you may as well have chose something less healthy because your mind is not there. And you're putting yourself down with that negativity, and that is only going to produce more negativity. Okay? The reason why I provide positive reinforcements with my clients is because I believe that will create positive change. But if I sat there and I told them, well, you shouldn't have had the cookies, how is that going to make them feel? Who wins in that situation? No one. Okay? We have to learn to take control of the situation we have at hand and learn from it, grow from it, and create effective change. Okay? So that's one scenario, and I just gave you 4 different ways to celebrate your successes in a way other than utilizing the scale. All right? So something else that I think is really important to recognize is, if you are out at a restaurant and the waiter comes over and you're at your favorite place, and at your favorite place you always get, say, like chicken parmesan, pasta on the side, you leave the bread on the table, and this time around you go to that restaurant and you ask the waiter, please please don't put the bread on the table because I don't trust myself. I know that I'm going to eat it, and instead of the pasta, I'll go for either maybe whole wheat, or do you have maybe like a side of broccoli, or maybe you have the zucchini noodles instead, I can swap that for. And if it's really, really possible, you ask the waiter, can you do grilled chicken parmesan instead of regular? So, you know, you're making those healthy swaps at a restaurant that the old you before wouldn't even have the guts to even ask, because that's, once again, a whole other topic of feeling comfortable and confident when you're asking for a change in a restaurant and asking the waiter or waitress to make changes to what you're requesting. That's a practice in itself, and that's something that might feel uncomfortable, because even so, you might really want the regular chicken parmesan with the pasta and the bread and the butter, and like you really want it. So now it's uncomfortable for you to say it because you don't want to be kind of annoying for the waiter or the wait staff, which you're the paying customer. You're not annoying, and it's your body and your health. So that's something you're going to have to get over really quick. And so you're already feeling uncomfortable about asking, and deep down you really don't want that. Like, you really want the less healthy option. So it is something that if you are able to get those words out, then sit, have your meal, and maybe even ask them to wrap half of it up. I mean, like, these are huge wins that we need to celebrate, because those are going to be the things that eventually will get you, if your goal is weight loss, that will eventually get you to your weight loss goal. Okay. And just overall health. If your goal is just to be overall healthy, those swaps and those suggestions and asking and requesting from that wait staff is going to help you as well. Same thing when it comes to like ridding the empty calories. Maybe you're a soda drinker or a juice drinker, you like iced tea, maybe you like love the Starbucks. You get all like the Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, but you get all the things in it, like syrup and cream, and you know, it's just like this delicious sweetness in your mouth, like, and you are usually used to get that on a regular basis. Those are the things that we need to celebrate if you're able to have them less often, or maybe instead of getting a grande, you get a small or a tall. Instead of, you know, full fat milk, you maybe get 1% or fat-free milk. Maybe you usually get 4 pumps of sugar and you just have 1 pump of sugar. Yeah, I mean, still, obviously, from a venti frappuccino to a grande frappuccino, still not great healthy choices, but you are actively making changes. So those little changes might not produce results on the scale immediately, but over a period of time, they will. And you're also improving your health, which is another factor, which it's not always about the scale, because if you're taking in less and less of those empty calories, you're creating room for more calorically dense foods. All right. So I see a lot of new people tuning in. So this is awesome. I'm really happy that you're all watching. For my Instagram people, I'm sorry I'm not looking at you. I am recording on Facebook and I'm going to upload it onto YouTube. So I've decided to put my focus there. I have 2 different cameras and I can only look in one direction. So I do apologize. All right. So we're talking about ways to stay on track with your goals and using other things to measure your progress rather than just the scale. So we've talked about celebrating things like saying no thank you to added sweets and sugars and temptation, making healthy swaps at a restaurant, you know, not guilting yourself into overeating or undereating and going back into that diet cycle. So these are all really, really great things. So I think I want to just talk about the obvious thing that I think if you are actively going to the gym, exercising regularly, lifting weights in particular, that's going to change your body composition. So by lifting weights and creating more muscle is more dense than fat. So the scale might stay the same if your goal is weight loss and the scale staying the same, yet you're making efforts in your nutrition plan, but your exercise regimen is a lot of heavy lifting, then chances are your body weight might not change depending on how much weight you actually have to lose, but your body composition might. So I would recommend getting a body fat monitor. It's like a fat loss monitor. They're really cheap on Amazon. You can probably get them for like $30. Actually, the blog that I wrote that I'm going to post with this later has a link where you can purchase one. I should have looked into like getting commission. But anyway, oh wow. So yeah, so getting a fat loss monitor and tracking your body fat percentage is really important. And I would encourage people who are at a healthy weight to do this too. So you might track your body mass index, and it might tell you that your BMI is, say, 23, meaning you're at a healthy weight, but your body fat percentage is high. That's not healthy. And that's something that you would want to improve. So regardless of what the scale says, we want muscle to be supporting our organs and our tissues. That's how they work optimally. So we want your body fat to be within a healthy range. And that range does vary based off of your gender and your age. But overall, I actually put that in the blog post as well. You know, you can get an idea of what a healthy range would be, but it is dependent on your BMI, your body mass index, and your age, and your gender. So those are things that you want to know. But once again, it is something to be aware of, okay? Leading to that, you know, you might not have a body fat loss monitor, or regardless, the body fat is pretty much the same too, and the scale is the same, but your clothes are fitting better. So if your clothes are fitting better, what might be happening is the fat is being distributed differently throughout the body. And where we hold our fat is actually a clear indication of our health. So people who hold their fat closer in the belly, closer to the heart, they're at a greater risk for heart disease. So it's strongly encouraged, even though we can't do spot training, unfortunately, to try to, when you're losing weight, let's hope that it gets further away from the belly and further away from the heart. So by, you know, exercising, maybe you're doing a lot more like squats, so maybe not really lifting anything or doing any sort of resistance, but you're doing a lot more cardio that is using the lower body. And somehow your body distribution's changing, so your clothes are fitting better. That is a good thing too. So that's something that we want to recognize. And then lastly, number 8, ways to make sure you're on track with your goals other than utilizing the scale is asking yourself, how do you feel? If you are feeling better, more energized, overall, just thanks for tuning in. Sorry, I can't see the screen. Thank you, Marianne. Yeah, I really need to get a tripod. Okay. But most importantly, if you are taking control of your health, cooking more of your meals at home, you know, just drinking more water, getting more sleep, taking time to take care of you and your health, and you find that you have more energy, your mood's better, you're just happier, you're feeling more confident, that is the biggest and if not only thing that really matters. So we definitely need to celebrate that. If nothing else changes, but you're feeling better, but usually by feeling better, having more energy, being happier, that's usually as a result of eating healthier and exercising regularly. So regardless of what the scale says, you know you're doing what you have to do, you're feeling good, that is awesome. Okay, so those are the 8 things that we need to do other than looking at the scale to track our progress. All right, so if you came in late and you're just viewing this now, I'm going to save this video because I just learned how to do that, download it and put it on my YouTube channel. So on Instagram, you guys, my bio has a bunch of different links where you can find my YouTube channel. You can find the Gym Wits podcast that I'm on regularly. You can find the blog post. You can find access to my healthy lifestyle support group. If you're interested in doing online health and wellness coaching to motivate others and inspire others through their healthy lifestyle, their healthy journey, you can find that there. And then lastly, you can find my website, tipswithtony.com, if you're interested in seeing all the other things I've ever posted over the years. All right, so I do want to say thank you so much for tuning in. For those of you who have watched the entire video, I am giving a code word, And for watching, with this code word, you get a free 20-minute nutrition counseling session with me. It's an online platform. So it depends on let's just do the consultation because it depends what state you're in if I can work with you through my new business, because I am officially a business owner, through Diet Tips with Tony Marinucci, MSRD LLC. So excited. So with my new business, I can help you with your nutrition plan, your health goals, and if you use the free code word, and the free code word is SCALE. So nobody knows that code word, SCALE, SCALE. Okay? No one knows that code word other than you guys for watching this entire video from beginning to end. So I usually charge for an initial consultation. You're getting 20 minutes of initial consultation completely free. So email me at tipswithtony@gmail.com. So tipswithtony@gmail.com with the code word SCALE, and you can get your free initial consultation with me. So thank you so much for tuning in. One more last update. The Tips with Tony podcast is up, but we're having a little bit of delay of the first official episode. So there's a little teaser episode, but if you do have Spotify, we're not on Spotify yet. I will be. But iPhone and you have the podcast on your iPhone, go to Tips with Tony, the Tips with Tony podcast, and I should pop up. And if I don't, let me know, but I should be there. So subscribe so that when an episode does come out, you'll be notified, and you can listen to that while you're in your car, while you're, cooking your healthy meals and whatever. All right, so I'm going to open up the floor for a couple of questions if anybody has any questions. We have about a few minutes left. So if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you. Christian said he or she, I can't tell because I can't tell the picture, but they love my makeup. So thank you. Not really wearing much. So that's good. Thank you. Anybody have any questions? Let's see if I didn't miss any. So I'm doing this new thing. I also have on Facebook, guys, my like page. It's my business page, Tips with Tony. Instead of working off of my personal page, which I was doing previously, I was doing because I had a lot more friends and followers on my personal page, right? So the idea is, if I go live there, more people will watch, all that. But I really want my business page to grow, so I've decided to start doing my live videos on there. So with that, there's not as many comments and questions, which is totally fine. I know that it will grow. So if you do not like if you have not liked my page on Tips with Tony, then definitely go and do that on Facebook. How often do you recommend you take body measurements? At least once a month. That would change depending on, I guess the program that you're doing, what you're really hoping to see change. But definitely once a month. If you do it week to week, you're probably not going to see much change. But I think any form of measurement is helpful, any form of tracking, and the more often that you do it, the more likely you'll be kind of just being more mindful and paying attention. Like it might just make you put in more effort because you're taking the initiative to measure yourself every day. So that's actually that's a really good point that I can't believe I kind of overlooked is body measurements. Now I feel like I have to edit my blog post that I already published, but yeah, so along with the body fat, I guess that was similar to how your clothes fit. So when your clothes are fitting differently, chances are you're losing inches, your body fat's being distributed differently. So that kind of goes hand in hand, but really good point, Trisha. Yes, so I would probably measure yourself at least once a month. If you have the measuring tapes, that's really helpful. I think someone mentioned earlier about keto, if you recommend. So the ketogenic diet, I do not recommend it for just the general population. There's a very specific population that probably does need it and require it. But if they were to go on it, they usually need to be closely monitored because very low carbohydrates can lead to ketosis. And I know that's the ultimate plan, but that's putting your body in balance, which can cause illness and isn't really healthy long term. Once again, if there's a specific disease state, then I would say yes. But really more research needs to be done. And I'm most likely going to do an episode on the Gymwits podcast about that in greater detail because I know it's huge right now, so I don't want to go on too much of a tangent because we only have 2 more minutes left. But that is a great question, and I do promise that I will completely answer it for you. Send me an email at tipswithtony@gmail.com so I can get an idea of if you're asking about it for a specific person or just my general recommendations. Okay. All right. So that is it for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back on next Tuesday. So the time's changed from 8:30 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. I want to be in bed by 9. Hey, Liz, how are you? That's really why I changed it. So I'm doing this new program. Super excited about it. It's like a fitness nutrition program. And one of the requirements is 8 hours of sleep, which I think is awesome because that's another thing that I probably should have put on our list is like ways to track your progress other than the scale. Like, are you getting adequate sleep? Because that is huge. If you're not seeing changes, you're probably tired. Your body's not resting enough. It's not allowing your body to metabolize the food. When you're tired, you usually overeat. So rest and sleep is really important. So I've decided to change my time from 8:30 to 8 so I can be in bed by 9 because I like to wake up bright and early, 5 a.m. to get my workout done, be productive, start my morning. I'm a morning person. Sorry if you guys hate me. I'm not a night owl. All right, so that is it, and the live video will be up for 24 hours. I will put the Facebook video on my Tips with Tony business page will always be there, and I will upload it to my YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that, and check out my recent blog post that goes with this video at tipswithtony.com. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a wonderful night. Bye.